We tend to think of medicine as something that comes from a pharmacy, right? Something made in a lab. But what if one of the most powerful weapons against infection wasn't in a bottle, but was actually already inside you? Today, we're going to dive into an incredible compound that our own bodies make, and it's completely changing how we think about the immune system. Okay, before we get into the really cool stuff, I just have to put this out there. This is all for educational purposes. We're talking about fascinating research, but it is absolutely not medical advice. For any health concerns you have, please go see a licensed professional, all right? Let's get to it. So why is this so important right now? Well, it all starts with a huge problem that you've probably heard about. It's what scientists are calling the antibiotic dilemma. And this isn't some far-off theoretical thing. Seriously. Researchers and doctors are asking a pretty terrifying question right now. With all these superbugs popping up, are we heading for a future where a simple infection could be untreatable, where our go-to cures just stop working? Yeah, it's like we're fighting a war on two fronts. On one side, the bugs themselves, the bacteria, the viruses, they're getting smarter. They're mutating and learning how to outsmart our best drugs. And at the same time, the treatments themselves can be like a sledgehammer to our system. They're not always a targeted fix. Sometimes they just wreck everything in their path. So, if our outside solutions are starting to fail us, where do we look? Well, this is where it gets really interesting. The answer might not be in developing a new drug, but in looking inward. Okay, I want you to meet LL-37. This is the hero of our story today. It's a natural peptide, you can just think of that as a tiny protein, and your own white blood cells produce it. It's literally your immune system's first line of defense. I love this analogy. It's basically your body's personal built-in antibiotic. And this is super fascinating. For a while, scientists would find high levels of LL-37 at the scene of an infection, and they'd think, uh-oh, is this part of the problem? But it turns out it's the complete opposite. It's a sign that your body is sending in the cavalry. It's a protective response, kind of like how a fever is your body's way of fighting back. So how does this little protector actually get the job done? Well, the way it works is it's simple, elegant, and totally brutal. It's like a tiny, targeted assassin for any bad guys that invade your system. Let's walk through the takedown, step by step. First, your immune system spots an invader. Step 2, in response, your white blood cells unleash LL-37. And now for the killer move, step 3. The peptide goes right up to the enemy cell and just pokes holes in its outer wall. And with its defenses totally breached, step 4, the invader just dies. It's an absolutely lethal and elegant system. Okay, so anything that powerful, you just know it's gonna have a flip side, right? It's never that simple. And that brings us to the central conflict of LL-37, its incredible promise versus its very real peril. And let's start with the promise, because wow, it is exciting. Research suggests it could help fight tough lung and skin infections, protect our gut, and it even acts like a dispatcher, calling in other immune cells for backup. It can even help wounds heal faster. It's like the Swiss Army knife of our immune system. But, and this is a big but, here's that double-edged sword. That amazing ability to poke holes in cells, sometimes it doesn't distinguish very well between an enemy and, well, us. It can cause collateral damage, hurting our own healthy cells. And that's the whole puzzle, right? How do you harness all that good stuff without letting it run wild? And this brings us to a really crucial point. LL-37 isn't a magic bullet. It's not acting alone. It's a key player on a huge team, your entire immune system. And how well it works is connected to everything else, other compounds in your body, and even your lifestyle. It's all connected. So where does all of this leave us? What's the takeaway for the future? Well, we might be standing on the edge of a whole new way of looking at medicine, the next medical frontier. I mean, listen to this quote directly from researchers in the field. This could dramatically change the field of immune health. Think about that. That's a huge statement. It represents a major shift away from just relying on external drugs and toward figuring out how to activate the incredibly powerful healing systems we already have built in. So yeah, the big takeaway here is that we are just starting to figure out how to tap into our body's own internal pharmacy. The potential is absolutely massive, but this is a really powerful system. We have to treat it with respect, which means moving forward with careful, cautious research. Which kind of leaves us with one last big question to ponder. We spend so much time and money looking for the next great cure out there. But what if the whole time, the future of medicine has already been running through our veins? Thanks for joining me on this one.